What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of the NCAA Hoops Hour. I am the big man on campus. It is Wednesday, February 26th, 2020. We are here trying to give you some angles to look out for tonight on the college basketball card. We'll go through each game quickly, try to see what we can find for angles. This will be the final show here. I know I said that yesterday, but this will be the final show. For a while. As I said yesterday, I have some things that are going to be announced coming very soon. So that will allow my content to be on one place. So if you're here, thanks for joining me. If you have a point you want to make, you can. Again, you don't need to ask about will I break down this game? Will I break down that game? I will go through each game. If I don't have anything on it, I will just quickly say I don't have anything on it. And that way I ask that question. So answer that question. So it's very simple, very easy. I hope you enjoy it. I know people enjoy me going over the card, so it's something that I hope to continue at my next stop. A couple of things today. Obviously, the Champions League just wrapped up. Really gutless performance by Juventus. I am a Juventus supporter. Look, I mean, you can't go out and add Cristiano Ronaldo and not have any fucking midfield. It's pretty simple. It's kind of like saying, hey, we're going to have, it's like any sport. We're going to have a basketball team, but we're not going to, there's no point guard. We just inbound the ball and shoot it. Like, you got to have some sort of creation. There needs to be someone to orchestrate it. You look at over the years, like, in the Italian league, you had a guy like Andrea Pirlo, a guy that was an unbelievable midfielder, one of the greatest midfielders ever. I just don't understand Juventus's thought process with you go out and get guys like Ronaldo, and you have obviously Dybala up front, Quadrado as well on the right side. Like, where the fuck is the midfield? Pjanic is not good enough. He's decent. He's nothing special. Rabiot, and give me a break. Betancourt, come on, man. Like, it's just laughable. They have no midfield, and they've had to fucking. I mean, no offense, but not one shot on goal. I mean, come on, man. Like, that's really embarrassing. But nice win for Man City. I saw they came back. You hate to see that happen to Real Madrid, but. Not necessarily, you don't really hate to see it. Good win for City. 2 goals in the final, 15 minutes or so. Also, I did hit a pick 5 at Tampa Bay. Now, let me set the stage, okay? So I play a lot of pick 4s and pick 5s. For anyone that doesn't know what that is, and I will get to the basketball, I just kind of like to start the show, let people join. I had a pick 5 today at Tampa Bay Downs, race 1 through race 5. So for anyone that doesn't know, pick 4, pick 5, pick 6 is basically a cumulative, group of races where you pick how many races you want to commit, and you basically have a base wager of 50 cents. Each horse, you could pick 5 races. Each race, you pick as many horses as you want. Now, as you add more horses, your wager goes up. So basically, I had a $72 wager, $72 pick 5, and when you have a pick 5, the goal is obviously to have as big a price as possible in each race because it's a cumulative payout at the end. So if you have 5 races and every horse is 2-1, it's not going to be a great payout. So the goal is, doesn't matter if you get 1 or 2 or 3-1s, but you want that occasional 7-1 or 10-1 to come in. I had a $19 price come in on one of the races, and I got to set the stage. So I made this bet. I then went and did my normal day. I had, I did my work. I put my pick out. I had some phone calls to make. I had some lunch. I went out and did my exercise for today, which I'm trying to stick to lately. I come back around 4 o'clock, and I had actually forgot I bet it. I'd just been betting Gulfstream race to race. I come back after showering and stuff, get ready for the show. I open my book. And I have a big balance. It was a local, and I'm like, "What the fuck? Did I add the wrong account? Did I somehow get someone? Like, what happened here?" I go back and look, and I'm like, "Oh fuck! I had that pick 5. Fuck." So Nice score. Beautiful. I'll take it. So it turned $72 into a nice score. And if you want the payout on the pick five, you can go look it up. But yeah, it was sweet. So right now, I'm working on a pick four at Gulfstream Park. I have a 7-1 price in the first. I have a 3-2 price in the second. So I have 2 more races to go. And I love it. So it's beautiful. I'm very excited. All right, let's get into the actual meat of the show, which is the college hoops card. What I'm going to do is, as normal, I'm going to just go through the card. We'll try to do it in about 20 minutes. I will not, feel free to throw your comments in at the end. I will go down all of them. Please send in your messages, well wishes, whatever you got. You say you hate me, send it in. I don't care. We will get to everybody's comments. All right, 6:30 Eastern, St. John's, Villanova. Obviously, Villanova playing at a high level right now. Saddiq Bey has been unbelievable. I saw that in the City 5, City 6, so Philadelphia has City 6, all 6 schools. Saddiq Bey is, I believe, top 15 for a single season from 3. I mean, he has been unbelievable. And the season's not even over yet. He has been terrific. He's really given them that third option. So basically, they had Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, Colin Gillespie. With the addition of Saddiq Bey and him being a high-level player, Villanova's a team you got to start paying attention to. I mean, they're not really being talked much about. I think if you ask me, are they a team? Yeah, I think they're a team that can win the title. Definitely. Defensively, they're, I think, better than a lot of people think. They're really good offensively. They don't turn the ball over. I like Villanova. Again, I'm not from where I live, I don't like. I'm kind of taught to not like Villanova because I'm a Temple guy, but I like this team. I like the makeup of this team a lot. You just wonder, will the depth issue hurt them at some point, because they really don't go very deep. They basically go 6 deep. I mean, Cosby Roundtree's gotten no minutes. Brian Antoine really hasn't gotten much. Your bench guy is basically Cole Swider. That's your only bench guy that really gives you any sort of valuable minutes. So as far as this game's concerned, it is a home game for Villanova. I don't mind maybe a first half play. St. John's stinks. That's a bad basketball team. St. John's is the worst team in this conference to me. Georgia, South Carolina. Didn't have much in this game. Georgia, I mentioned way back at the beginning of the season, I felt like they were a fade play. They just don't play any defense. I mean, they're a gutless team on that side of the ball. And that's one reason, like Tom Crean, I always hear people mention Tom Crean. Tom Crean's a shitty coach. I guess if you say, well, he did get Anthony Edwards, I mean, that's a decent get. But, I mean, outside of that, I mean, the guy sucks. I mean, his teams stink. None of them ever defend. They only have one player generally that's ever any good. I mean, Tom Crean blows. Every year his teams are on the bubble. I mean, what has Tom Crean ever won? Seriously. It's a guy that goes to the tournament, likely generally wins a game, and that's it. Tom Crean sucks. I mean, they got beat up by South Carolina the first time, but I don't know. This game seems close. Two kind of general bottom feeders in this conference, at least recently. So I don't have much on this one. Kind of a game I don't really have many opinions on. Furman, Greensboro, big game here in this conference. Look, Greensboro is the best team here. Okay, I mean, it's pretty simple. And we got to talk about Wes Miller and the job he continues to do. That's not an easy conference. I mean, there's some good teams down there. Furman's really good. East Tennessee State's solid. Mercer always has a decent team. Obviously, Wofford, they're kind of down this year, but I really like this East Tennessee State team. Isaiah Miller has been terrific. Big game, beat them already at their place. Furman, potent, but not as potent as last year. This is a game that UNC Greensboro are looking to kind of tally up and finish out this conference here. They're getting closer and closer to do so. This would be a great tournament in a couple weeks here. 3 or 4 teams that could likely win it. I'm not as high on Furman this year as I've been in years past. But I'll tell you right now, one thing I don't like with Greensboro is their inability to make free throws. They are really bad at the line. One of the worst in the country, actually. That could be an issue in this game. Keep your eye on that. If you gave me a free bet, kind of at 4. I'll lean Furman. I think it's a close game. I think Greensboro likely will find a way, but I think it's close. Mercer Citadel. Mercer's hanging tough. They'll be a team that'll be a tough out in March in this conference. They've actually lost 3 times since January 15th. Actually been done a nice job. Their only losses have come against Furman, Greensboro, and East Tennessee, which no shame in that. They have taken care of the bad teams in this conference. Last time these groups played, it was a close game. I'd expect a better outcome tonight. You look at recently, Mercer has been on fire offensively. Greg Gary's team has really been filling it up. And one thing we know about the Citadel is they're always good to give up 80. That's just what they do. The way they play offense is conducive to bad defense. The general goal of the Citadel offense is to go as fast as possible, and they don't make shots. So transition is pretty fierce for the opposite team. So, Mercer finding some ways to be relevant. I think there'll be a team to definitely take some teams to the woodshed in March. As I said, in this game, I would definitely lay the points if I had to here. East Tennessee State, Wofford. Wofford isn't what they were. Obviously Mike Young gone. Wofford is a team, though, that, is good offensively still. They're kind of a different team than they were last year. But they're struggling right now. They're not playing well. I have no real interest in this game. You gotta pony up and play a really good basketball team. This is a team that lost to Chattanooga recently, Western Carolina. They're not playing well. Should be a game, obviously, East Tennessee State's going to have. So, important, I think, to get the job done. Think about Wofford, and the issue they're having this year is you look at last season, obviously they had a special year. Whether it's Mike Young's team or whether it's Jay McCulley's team, the difference hasn't changed. The goal of the Wofford offense is to shoot threes. That's what they do. Last year, second in the country in three-point percentage. This year, 168th. Yet they're shooting the same amount of threes. Obviously, their offensive numbers are going to go down. It kind of sucks they shoot so many threes because they're actually a pretty good half-court offense. So, they're just kind of, I think, they play the wrong way, frankly. And it's not going to be easy tonight against East Tennessee. Yes, East Tennessee State's a really good team. They do a lot of the little things well. Steve Forbes, if you ask me who wins this conference, I'm going to go East Tennessee State. I love their starting 5. I think they're really good, and they're deep too. A lot of experience, a lot of continuity with that group. Samford, West Carolina. Samford is horrific defensively. You look at this is a thing to keep in mind. And if you're betting, this was a game that I considered. I have one premium play tonight. It's the best play on the board. And this was close. I definitely did some research on this game. I definitely went deep on this one. You look at the last 7 games on the road for Samford. Okay, they have 1 win. But you look at their losses. They've lost by 40, 24, 28, 23, 25, and 38. Those are their last 6 road games. They did win 1 against the Citadel, I believe. But when they go on the road, they get fucking pillaged. They're just a terrible defense. Pretty simple. I guess the issue I have with Western Carolina is I don't know about their defense. Their defense, I think, good on paper, but lately they've really struggled. I think this is an over game. I think West Carolina pushes 90 here. I feel like Samford can get to 70. I think this game will find its way over the total. Maybe like a 92-70 type of game, something like that. 94-73, something like that. If you're Samford tonight, this is another tough game on the road. And West Carolina, pretty solid offense this year. Mark Prosser's team's done a nice job. They just need to find some consistency on the defensive end. Chattanooga, VMI. VMI's actually been a decent dog this year. Just keep that in mind, but I didn't have much in that game. Bradley against Illinois State. I'm a big Bradley guy, but I will tell you, I'm not a big road team guy, which I've talked about. When I have a road game, Like if I have 10 bets, let's say 10 different nights of picks, I have 10 bets. There might be one or two road teams. I don't bet a lot of road teams. And when it is a road team, they've got to be hot. They've got to be playing well. And the team they're playing has to be poor. This probably constitutes a good road play, but, right now, Bradley, for whatever reason, I trust them way more at home. Illinois State's been a tough couple of years. I'm not sure why Dan Muller's still the coach at Illinois State. Again, I guess that's who they think is the best guy for the job. But their teams have been particularly poor, and they've had some talent. I don't know what the issue's been. This year they don't have much talent, but they've had previous years some talent. I don't know what's been the issue there. I think Bradley gets the job done here, but this is a fickle conference for road teams. Denver against Fort Wayne, no real interest. Denver sucks, but this isn't a vintage Fort Wayne team. John Conchar ain't walking to the door with them. Max Landis, he ain't walking through the door either. Marist, Manhattan. It's funny. Every time I see Marist, I think of Paul LaDuca, who I remember back on Super Bowl Sunday, Paul LaDuca told me that Marist was a team that you should be betting. And he's right. They're actually playing better basketball. And in this conference, you never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of fucking chocolates. I know they're not winning games, but they hang around. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that they make threes. One thing about this group, they can make the three. And they're actually a pretty decent defensive team as well. John Dunna has bad teams year after year, but he's done a pretty good job with this group. I'm not running to the window to bet Manhattan either. So for Paul LaDuca, I'm sure he's on Marist tonight. They're definitely playing better. Good call by Paul. Siena, Quinnipiac. Siena obviously in a dogfight with St. Peter's. They have to have this game. I've not really been real into Quinnipiac this year. Siena and St. Peter's is going to be a fun game. I hope we get that in the MAC tournament. I'm going to try to get to that. It's down in Atlantic City. I'm going to try to go to it. We'll see. But this is a big game. Obviously, Siena need to finish strong. Siena is a team that you look at the final four games of the season: Quinnipiac, Marist, Niagara, Monmouth. Not exactly Murderer's Row there. There's no Iona in there. There's no St. Peter's in there. There's no Ryder in there. So, if you're Siena, you've got to finish strong here. And they should be able to do it. Carmen Maciarello's team, here should be able to get the job. The Quinnipiac, not great defensively. Let's just put it that way. Syracuse, Pittsburgh. Yeah, I kind of lean Pitt here. I think it's a tough spot for Syracuse. And the betting public isn't exactly helping this spot. I think this is a rat line. I think it's clear. I think in this game, no one thinks Pittsburgh can win, which is why they will win. I don't think that on the road, I don't think this is a real advantage spot for Syracuse. I think tonight they'll miss a lot of threes, and I think Pittsburgh will be in the market to win this game late. Duquesne, St. Bonaventure. If you know me, I'm a big Bonnie guy. I like this team a lot. I do believe that next year will be their year, which, I think if you're Mark Schmidt, I think you're just kind of flying by the seat of your pants. Whatever happens, happens. But keep in mind, guys, I'll say this again. Put this down in your notebook. Look, if you're a bettor and you don't have one of these or multiple ones of these, you're not doing it correctly. And that's why you are springing and you're watching shows like this, because you can do this. Okay, you've got to have a notebook. You've got to have things you write down. And I'm always thinking ahead. This team next year is going to be really good. I'm not going to say they're going to win the title next year, but I think they're going to be a really good basketball team next year. They don't have one senior on this roster that plays regularly. They're going to bounce back next year in a big way. This is a revenge game, though, for Duquesne. St. Bonnie actually beat them a couple weeks ago in Pittsburgh, 83-80. Up and down game. It was a fun game. But I'll tell you right now, you're not going to find me betting against Bonnie at home. They're really good in that building. One of the better home teams in the country against the spread. I really like the makeup of this team. They're young, but they have a ton of energy, St. Bonaventure. Osuni is terrific down low, really just affects every shot defensively. Lofton's kind of the guy that runs this team. English, Welch, Vasquez, Planutis, all these guys. They all have a role. I really like Bonaventure. I like them a lot. And I think they have the upper hand tonight in this game. But should be a close one. Should be a real coin flippy game. I'll give the edge to Bonaventure, though, at home. And keep an eye on them for next year. Virginia Commonwealth at UMass. I've been enjoying UMass at home. I know last time they played, I recommended on the Pick Central show that you play them. They're actually a pretty good home team. This is another game that if I had a free pick tonight, this would be it. This was close. It wasn't the best play on the board, but it was close. I think the one thing kind of keeping me off this game is just I think VCU is desperate. I mean, they're not playing well, but they're going to figure it out. Marcus Evans should be back tonight. I don't know if that's a guarantee, but he should be back tonight. UMass, though, plays hard at home. One of the really solid home teams you'll find. I think anytime they're at home, I have some interest. But wasn't a game that I was huge on. I think it's worth maybe a small play tonight. Virginia Tech. I think you get a better effort out of Vatech this game. They were horrific the first time these two teams played. But I'm not saying this is going to be a game that I think is high scoring. I'd probably look under 114. This game seems first to 40 or first to 55 will win. I'd be really surprised if a team scores over 55 in this game, just because I think both teams are kind of built to stop each other. We always know at Virginia we're not getting much. But I'll tell you right now, watch out for Virginia. They're playing really good basketball right now. I think they've won like 7 of 8. They're playing really good, and their only loss was to Louisville. Virginia hanging in the fucking weeds, people. I mean, they're hanging. They're playing some really good offensive basketball for their standards, too. And the great thing about Virginia, they don't need to play great offensively because they're going to hold you to 50 points every game. They're just on another level defensively. I mean, it's truly remarkable to watch. I've gloated for years how impressive it is to watch this team defensively. It's absolutely unbelievable how good they are on that side of the ball. You look at if you can get Virginia to play like they did the other night, just give me one guy that scores like 15 and give me 3 or 4 guys that score 7 or more, they're going to win. It's that simple. I don't really want to bet against Virginia right now, to be real honest with you guys. We will get to comments here. I'm going through the card. We're about halfway done. Let's speed it up here. Rutgers, Penn State. This would be probably the best of the best that didn't make my card. I really like Rutgers tonight in this game. I think it is a sharp play. Geo Baker didn't play in the first game. He's going to play tonight. I don't think Marion Jones plays. I think Rutgers, if they can find a way to win tonight, I think they are solely in the field. It doesn't matter what they do going forward. If they win tonight, they are in the field. It doesn't matter if they lose in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. They will be in because they can finally say they went on the road and won a really good game against a top 15 team. Give me the 5 points. I think this is too many. I like Penn State. I don't love Penn State. I think Rutgers is good enough defensively, but I guess my one issue with Rutgers always is they are really poor at times offensively, and they are not good on the road. But I just have a feeling tonight we get a good performance out of them. I think having Geo Baker will obviously help. You look at the first time they played. Rutgers won without Baker. They get him tonight. He's their best player. Geo Baker's their best player. I don't care about anyone else. He's their best player. And without Marion Jones, which I don't think he plays tonight, I think that helps considerably. I think Marion Jones is mono, as far as I can see. No player is out this long with an illness. I mean, it's pretty, I mean, again, I don't know completely, but I would think. And he's still day-to-day, so he hasn't even practiced. So he ain't playing tonight. Rutgers plus 5.5. I actually gave this pick out on Pick Central. Rhode Island, Fordham. I have no opinion on this game. Lean Rhode Island. Richmond GW. Many people know I like Richmond as well. Another team to write down next year. They are going to be very good. As long as no one leaves, which I don't think they will, Richmond's going to be very good next year. Talking about another team that has no seniors. Richmond. Not one senior on this roster. I'll tell you right now, Richmond will win the Atlantic 10 next year. Mark my words. Now tonight, I lean them as well. Their team on the bubble. The game tonight is you can't lose. This would be if they lose tonight, they will not make the tournament. Simple. You cannot lose the GW. You can't. Thing that concerned me in this game, though, Armel Potter, a good player, and GW with Armel Potter in the lineup generally hangs tough. They're a well-coached team. They're getting there. GW will be a team next year to look out for. You look at all their games, they don't really get blown out much with him in the lineup. First time these two teams played, he didn't play. And I actually took St. Bonaventure that night. I bet them minus, I think 7.5. They won by like 25. It's a great play. That's why I love St. Bonnies. They just fucking kill. I actually bet them back-to-back. I took them against GW and George Mason. Won both games and covered both games. But Armel Potter's back tonight. They didn't have him the first time. So could be a different outcome. I think Rich will find a way to pull away and win, I don't know, 78-68, something like that. All right, UCF, Connecticut. Not really sure why Connecticut's a 7.5-point favorite. Seems like every game they play is within 4 points. Lean UCF there. UCF's they're not East Carolina or Tulane. UCF's decent. East Carolina, South Florida. I don't have much opinion here. North Dakota, Omaha. I don't trust either of these teams on the defensive end. Pass. Indiana State, Southern Illinois. Some of these games I'm not going to go deep into because I'm not going to belabor the point. I'm not betting them. I don't like them. Indiana State, Southern Illinois. If you bet Indiana State on the road, you will lose. They're not a good road team. I lean the Salukis. Evansville, Northern Iowa. You want to lay a number tonight? Probably this one is the one. Evansville has been just dire since Walter McCarthy was removed as the coach. I mean, keep in mind, Evansville's not won since December 21st. I mean, they've lost 16 straight in this conference. And most of them have not been close. I think they have like 2 or 3 games where they were within 4. I mean, it's rough. Actually played well in their last game. They finally got DeAndre Williams back, which could help tonight, but I don't think it's going to mean much. If I were to lay a number, it'd probably be this game. Northern Iowa's just cruising right now. You look at the difference, which you don't see this often. This number's 13.5. Ken Palm has this at 80-60. You don't usually see a 7-point swing in his stuff. And plus, Ken Palm's numbers don't reflect injuries. So, I mean, that's a pretty stark discrepancy. Usually his numbers are maybe 1 or 2 points off, but 7, 6, that's a lot. Keep that in mind for this game. This number might be too low. I frankly thought it was too low. I thought this should be more like 15.5, not 13.5. But bettors have bet this one down. Sharp bettors have bet this game down. I guess they see Williams and think he's worth a point or two. And he is. He's a good player. He's the best player. Arkansas State, UL Lafayette. I don't bet Sunbelt much. Nothing here. Tennessee, Arkansas. I have a soft spot for Tennessee, and I don't have a soft spot for Arkansas. I think without Isaiah Joe, they were bad. You look at, now he's, is he back? I want to see here. I think he is back. Is Joe back? Let me see here. I'm going to double check on that. I want to say he's back, but I might be wrong. I think he is back. He did. He is back. He played on Saturday against Missouri. And you look, with Isaiah Joe back, they win. They win by 20 or 10. You look at the other night, top leading scorer, 21. So with Joe back, I think this is a different game. That's why it's important to know who's in and who's out. You can't just look at these games and be like, oh, I like, whoever. You gotta know who's in and who's out. Tennessee is one of the more disappointing teams in the country. They have some talent. I don't know what is going on with this team. It didn't help they lose Turner, but, Vescovi's played pretty well for them. I don't know what their issue is. I know what their issue is. It's turnovers. Turn the ball over too much. And they lost a lot. I mean, you got to remember. I mean, you lose Grant Williams, Schofield, all sorts of talent last year. Jordan Bone, but I thought they'd be better in this conference. Don't really like the spot tonight either on the road at Arkansas with Joe back. With Joe back, they're a team that can win this SEC tournament. Seems healthy too. 21 points. Georgetown, Marquette. Marquette definitely needs this one. I think Georgetown's cooked, which sucks, but is what it is. Notre Dame, BC. Many people know I like Mike Brey a lot. I think he's one of the best coaches in the country. Nobody talks about over the years. He's done more with less. I mean, there's no guy that's done more with less than Mike Brey. Mike Brey's a great recruiter too. I mean, he does. I mean, look at some of the great players over the years at Notre Dame. I mean, look at the last 10 years. I mean, Bonzie Colson, Zach August, Demetrius Jackson, Steve Vesturia, Luke Herringody, Pfluger this year. I mean, he's an elite recruiter, man. I mean, Matt Ryan, remember that guy last year, the Irish kid? I mean, he's an elite recruiter, man. I mean, he gets John Mooney. John Mooney's a really good player. I mean, there's no one that does more with less than Mike Brey. I mean, if you can find him, I'd like to hear it, but you're not going to find it. Or Matt Farrell, not Matt Ryan, Matt Farrell, the Irish kid. I mean, I'm telling you, man, this guy's a really good recruiter, man. It's not many better. And by the way, don't forget Pat Connaughton. He might be the best player they've had there in the last 10 years. Pat Connaughton was a baseball player. Mike Brey says, come play basketball. Get a future there. Kid plays basketball. He's a fucking NBA player now, and he's a good NBA player. I'm telling you, man, Mike fucking Brey is elite. I would love for him to coach my team. I love that guy. One of my favorite coaches in the country. Maryland to Minnesota. Definitely lean Minnesota here. This is a circle spot for me. Minnesota, I think the issue I have with them is obviously I think if they win here, I mean, they're kind of close to be on the outside in this conference. I don't know. This would definitely help their cause. And I don't like Maryland on the road at all. I'm not a big Maryland guy. I don't like Maryland much at all. Minnesota wins tonight at the barn. It's definitely a spot you should be on. St. Joe's, St. Louis. You guys know the rules of St. Louis. I have no interest in betting them. They don't make free throws. Missouri, Vandy. Who cares? These teams aren't doing anything of worth, so I don't care. But again, Vandy, a 2-point dog. Not sure what that point is. Vandy, ever since Naismith went out, it's been pretty bad. LSU, Florida, lean over in this game. LSU is very bad defensively, very bad. And Florida should be able to do whatever they want tonight offensively. Should be a up and down game. First game is high scoring. This one should be as well. New Mexico and Air Force. Took about another team that is just horrific defensively, and that's New Mexico. And there's a reason this total is 160 because New Mexico fucking sucks defensively. Plus, they play at a warp speed. It's amazing that in the Mountain West, they're this bad defensively. Because, the Mountain West is not real good outside of, San Diego State. They're horrific on that end. And if you know anything about Air Force, pretty decent offensive team. Make a lot of threes. Both these teams can't guard for shit. First to 80 probably wins this game, so I'll lean over. I actually heard a guy calling the pick central today. He was telling people like the under in this game. I don't know what game he was looking at. And if I was on the show, I would have told him. I don't know what the hell you're looking at in this game. Are you like an under here? Hey, look, maybe you get lucky and it's 75-74, but I mean, both these teams are horrible defensively. Utah, Stanford. I like Stanford a lot. If you watched the Live Line show the other night that I was on, we had some success with them the other night doing some live action. Don't have much on this game, though. Utah Valley, Cal Baptist. Cal Baptist playing well. Problem with them is they're not eligible for postseason play. Remember, that's important to remember, guys. You've got to understand who is eligible for conference tournament play. Okay, now some of these teams are, some teams aren't. You look at a team like Merrimack. They're not eligible for the WAC tournament. Or I'm not the WAC tournament, the NEC tournament. There's a rule that if you are a new team in Division I, you cannot attend postseason play for 4 years, which is fucking stupid. Now, some teams for instance, like Florida A&M, they're not able to play in conference play for other reasons, maybe academics. There's a thing called APR, academic performance rating. Each team has an APR. Now, most teams, you never hear about it because most teams' APR is fine. An APR is obviously something that you have to adhere to, or you could not make postseason play. They actually come down on you if you're under a certain APR. You cannot perform. And, I know in the SWAC, which that's another story as opposed to like why some leagues, it's fucked. It's fucked up how they treat certain leagues. And I'm going to be the first to say it. It's a shame that it's generally HBCU leagues. They get the fucking bottom of the barrel. It sucks. You look at an APR rate. So basically it's how does a student perform in the classroom. There's a certain rate you have to be at. Now you look at the HBCUs, okay? Most of those, whether it's the MEAC or SWAC, they have to fund their athletic programs through pay games. So if you notice, go look at like a Coppin State. They have to play 10 road games in a row in the beginning of the season and basically get their shit kicked in to get paid. That's how they fund their athletic programs. And not only is it dangerous for the athletes, but it fucks them from an academic perspective. These kids are not going to the NBA unless they're, one is really good, and occasionally it'll happen, but they don't. They have to play on the road for days on end. How the fuck are they supposed to get a decent education? I mean, it's fucked up the way these HBCUs are treated. I don't see anyone else having to go out and do pay for fucking play games. But no, let's fucking pimp the students out to get money for our school. But hey, we're going to fuck them on the back end because they're going to give their all to play basketball and their grades are going to suffer. And hey, oh well, let's just fuck them and say they're not going to play in postseason. So the one good thing about the season they don't get because of some bullshit about APR. What a joke. What a fucking joke. Pay for play should be fucking removed from sports. It's dangerous, and it's fucking – the only people that suffer are the fucking athletes. And I know people say, well, then don't fucking play. That's true. But I don't see, other schools don't have to do it. It's sad. It just is. And you know what? You know who has to deal with it the most? HBCUs. They get the short end of the fucking stick always. This is one thing about the NCAA that is fucking vastly underreported, and it should be, because it's fucked. And then two other games. Cal Northridge, Long Beach. I don't have anything on that game. Boise State, UNLV. UNLV playing well. Should be able to get the job done tonight. But you got to wonder, letdown game after winning against the undefeated team. All right, so there you have it. Let's go through comments and see what you all have here. Alex Warner, thanks for checking out the show. What's up? Viz1, Dear Slayer, Andrew Flick, Little E, Kentucky Derek, Don Deasy. Appreciate all of you. Thanks for listening. Paul Smith. It's not happy. Again, Paul, thanks for the congrats. The names are not on, though, the contract just yet. Hopefully that'll all be done tomorrow. What else do we have here? Shaquille Bell, thanks for watching. Donald Truex, thanks for watching. Alex Wander, Jordan Parnes, thank you. Appreciate it. Guan White, thanks for watching. What else do we have here? Does Florida State win the ACC? Yeah, listen, Cole, I mean, you come in here every day and ask the same questions about the ACC. And it's always about Florida State. Yesterday he comes in and asks about can Florida State win the tournament? Listen, Cole, I like Florida State. Can they win the ACC? Sure they can. Sure they can. Cole's a big FSU fan. We'll give him the benefit of that. Big man, I heard something about the mayor of Philadelphia is opening a legal dope house. Tell me that shit is not true. Have you heard anything about that? Yes, it's actually being put in the neighborhood I used to live in South Philadelphia. Yeah, basically it's a safe injection site. I got to be honest. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know how it's legal, to be honest. Like, if you remember in The Wire, that Amsterdam, which basically they came out and said, this is not fucking legal. I'm not sure how it's legal. I will say, I think legalizing all drugs in this country would help our epidemic in this country considerably. The biggest problem we have in this country is the drug trade. Whether you're rural or urban, it affects you. And decriminalizing drugs has helped, and it would help here. They would never do it, but it would help. Do I think that in Philadelphia, though, in South Philadelphia, a neighborhood with plenty of generations that are still there? No, I think it's a terrible idea. Again, if you're going to legalize drugs, then do it. But you can't have fucking random safe injection sites, because I don't know if people understand this. And yeah, Ed Rendell's at the top of the list in this, and that's no surprise. He's a fucking dunce. But eventually you have to leave the safe injection site. And you know what drug addicts are going to do? They're going to throw their fucking needles on the ground. They're going to be, it's just a fucking mess. And I'll tell you right now, the people of South Philadelphia have been fucking railroaded the last year. It's been tough to watch, actually, because I know so many people in Philadelphia still. I know many good families in Philadelphia, and it's sad to see. But yeah, I think the public will uprise if that happens. I don't think it will. I will say though, first of all, it's not the mayor, and second of all, whoever the mayor is has no bearing on crime. I always hear people say, "Well, the mayor sucks." Listen, the murder rate in Philadelphia was in the 500s in the 90s. The fucking mayor wasn't Jim Kenney then. Do I think Larry Krasner's a good DA? No, and that's the problem in most cities. The fucking politicians suck. We need to, though, to have pride in our own neighborhoods and take the fucking neighborhoods back. And I hate to bring this up, but when a certain Italian American group in South Philadelphia was there, we didn't have these fucking problems. When I was younger and I lived in Philadelphia, we didn't have these issues. I'm going to call the kettle, but I'm just going to be honest. When a certain Italian American subculture wasn't in Philadelphia or was powerful, we didn't have these problems. Just being honest. Go to the 90s in South Philly. It was a totally different place than it is now. You know why? Because if you fucked up, you had to deal with certain people. They didn't let that shit happen. Who do I have in Gulfstream in the 9th? Listen, I'm not sharing it because every time I do, I fucking lose. And it wouldn't surprise me if I look at the 9th race and I did lose. I don't know how I would. Do you think I had all in this race? And I did lose, of course. I had the one horse that there were 4 runners in this race. I had 3 of those runners, and naturally, I started this show and lost. It's simple. If I give out picks on this show, it loses. The last 2 times I've had to pick 5, I've lost both in the final race during this show. I mean, what a joke! 4 runners in the race. I have 3. And the one I don't have comes in, an $11 horse. I mean, how sick is that? And I'm sure, the horse. I had a single in the 10th race. I'm sure the single will come in. But again, I mean, it wasn't going to pay a lot. I don't think. I'll be honest. If the horse that I like comes in here. And we're going to see here in a second who came in. In the 10th race, I had a single. I had the 8, Crypto Gold. And it wouldn't have been a lot. It would have been like $200, but I only spent $45 on the ticket. I mean, just sick. It's sick. This show is sick. Literally, I bet horses all day. And I come on here. And Crypto Gold's getting killed, so it's not going to matter, but it's just spooky. What's my record this year? 48-40. Last night I had a push, so that one was called off. Well, and I'm kind of happy I didn't. It didn't really matter if I didn't hit the 3rd race because Crypto Gold's going to get 2nd naturally. Ugh. Oh, well, I had a big day otherwise. What sports books do I use? All sorts of them. Rye Cape, what's up? Thanks for watching. Computer Nerd says Florida plays Little D. Little D. Yeah, well, little, but LSU plays none. What else do we have here? Lot of comments. Can try to get through all of them here. If first to 80 wins, the game goes under. The total is 160. Confused. Shut the fuck up, you fuck. It's going to be kind of like that. 84-8. Shut the fuck up, Paul, you fuck. God, I hate people like that. I fucking hate people like that. Shitheads that fucking. I just went over the whole fucking card, and you want to say one fucking thing I got wrong. God, I fucking hate people like that. I fucking hate them. You know, Paul, you actually seem pretty nice, too, and then you pull that dumb shit. Shut up. Obviously, I said I like the over, dude. You fuck. Listen. I try not to do that, but like then people say shit like that, and it just annoys me. What athlete goes to classes? Pretty much everyone. Maybe you should do your research and understand APR. They might not go to classes, but they're still doing work on the road. They have tutors. Are you familiar with where Dion Waiters grew up? Yes, he grew up in South Philly, Point Breeze, which is not far from where they want to do this injection site. Yeah, it's a bad neighborhood. His brother was actually murdered in this neighborhood. His brother was killed a couple years ago. He didn't move him out, and he was killed. Does John Beeline end up at Texas or Wake Forest? I think one of the two, for sure. Philadelphia was awesome in the 80s and 90s. I've heard. East Tennessee State, already talked about it, man. You come in the show at 5:46. Got to re-listen, brother. Preach, big man. I'm still in South Philly, and it's nothing like it used to be. But yeah, it's a complete mess. You curse too much. Well, then don't fucking watch. I'm not on your fucking payroll. I don't need to adhere to what you say. That's why I don't go and work for ESPN, because I want to fucking swear, bro. I curse too much. Maybe you should just stay inside all day so you don't hear anyone cursing. I don't want to hear people curse. Shut up. Shut up, dude. See, look, you got me mad. You got me pissed off and upset. RW says, I love the show. Glad I got to watch it live. Well, thank you, RW. RW doesn't care about cursing. He doesn't give a fuck about that. He just says, big man, do what you want to do. And I do. Let me go back to that comment. If first to 80 wins, the game goes under. The total is 160. Right. If the first to 80 is going to win. I don't know how you equate that to the game going under. I just basically highlighted for 5 minutes why I think the game's going to go over, and you say some dumbass shit like that. Jesus. Big man, basketball players are too busy getting with girls for class. Listen, dude, shut up. You're another one. Get a grip. Every basketball player has to go to school. It's a fucking rule. I know you don't think they do. I know you think they just sit in their house all day and just play basketball. They have to go to school. They might not go to class, but they have school that they have to do. It doesn't work like you think it does. Maybe in the 40s they didn't, but they do now. This isn't fucking Blue Chips, dude. Like, it's a fucking it's real life. Thank you, Gallimore. Paul Smith. Here he is. I didn't mean it to be a dig. I love your show and listen every day. I was truly asking because it was on the over. Well, listen, Paul, you don't have to apologize. It's fine. I'm just trying to point out what I mean. I love when you swear. Okay. Well, thank you. Any more questions? Any more questions today? Would have liked to have hit that pick 4, but you know, what are you gonna do? College basketball insider John Rothstein says there's a dozen teams that go in the national title. Wow, riveting info from John as usual. John Rothstein's. Don't get me started on him. Does John Rothstein know anything about like teams outside of the top 50? I'm gonna go ahead and say no. All those guys are like that. College basketball media sucks. They all are rude. I hate those guys. I hate traditional media. Fuck traditional media. All right, what else do we have here? Any dark horses for March Madness? Um, yeah, BYU. There's one for you. Um, I'm looking for a good sports book. Okay, well, none of them pay me to give the breakdown, so you can go find one for yourself, brother. Where do you live at? You got to tell me where you live. You live in New Jersey, Iowa, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, any of those states, then it should be pretty easy for you to find one. But yeah, I don't get paid by any book to give my stamp of approval. You live in Ohio? I don't think they have sports betting. So yeah, look, man, I don't know. You'll have to. Why don't you just Google it? I'm sure you can find some good information. There's all sorts of stuff out there. You'll go to West Virginia, drive into West Virginia and play at FanDuel. I don't know. Go to Penn National. Go down to Charlestown or one of those places. Um, any advice on how to become a pro at gambling? Yes, I have some advice. Don't do it, or don't think you can do it. Just go do something else. Listen, man. I've been on Twitter since 2009. That was when I started doing all this, and I'm just getting to my perch. Takes a long time, man. I'll be honest, and I'm not trying to like downplay what you're asking, and I'm just being honest with you. It's almost impossible. Like you have to you had to kind of get at it, and that's why for me I'm not the nicest guy. I'm not the best guy at gambling. I'm not the best anything. I don't even have the most followers. I've been doing it for so long. You know, I'm always going to be there. I've done it for so long. But I'll tell you what, man, to get somewhere, you got to do a lot of free shit. You got to do a lot of stuff that you're not getting paid for. I mean, it's almost impossible. I mean, it's almost impossible, especially with how many people are in it now. I mean, you truly have to know somebody or strike it somewhere. It's real hard. Real hard. There's steps though. I mean, the goal obviously is, go out and you're not to gamble for a living. It's tough. I mean, you got to have some other substantive ideas. Like for me, it's always been content. And trying to find ways to make money there and whatever. But it's tough. It's real tough. Thank you, Ben Diaz. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate that. Better play tonight, Rutgers or UMass? Wow. Probably Rutgers. Do you follow NBA as well? Yes, I bet NBA from mostly a personal standpoint. I'll involve myself more in the NBA in the playoffs. I had some success early in the season. I had a play last night. I took the fucking Pelicans, and Zion Williamson fucked me late. So fuck him. Better yet, fuck the Pelicans. Yeah, I'll have some more of that coming in the future. Don Deasy, thanks for watching. Odds makers are sharp. Well, they're kind of sharp. Big man, is this a letdown spot for UNLV? I talked about that one. I would think probably. I always remember listening to your show on Spreaker when I was deployed in 2012. Yeah, I mean, that just goes to show you how long I've been doing this shit. So that's one thing you can never take away from me. I've been doing this longer than anybody. Anybody. All this new shit coming out, all this stuff. Nobody's been doing it longer than me. Very few have been. Donnie Wright said, I'll tell you, I've been doing it longer than anybody. I'm an OG, as they say. All right. I'm out of here. You all have a great night. Thank you for watching. If you want, I will be on Pick Central tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern on Sirius Radio. Channel 85, Barstool Radio. I'll be on there with Brandon Walker, Dave Portnoy, Marty Mush. Big Cat's not there, but we'll have some fun on that. We'll talk about sports betting and sports in general. So make sure if you want to join me, you can catch that. I expect all of you to tune in. And if you don't have Sirius, go fucking get it and listen. But if you can't, the show is podcasted every day on iTunes. Just go search Pick Central. You can also hear it again if you missed it at noon. You can listen to it again at 6 o'clock Eastern on Sirius. Same channel, 85. Doesn't get easier than that. I mean, you're getting Brandon Walker, me, Mush, and the great Dave Portnoy. How can you want anything more? Big Cat would be great. Luduka, Blackjack, all that. It's great stuff. I'll be live in studio. Make sure you check that out as well. Do I like the Sixers tonight? I mean, yes, but they're on the road, so no. But the Cavs are really bad. I mean, if they lose tonight, I don't know what to fucking say. I don't know what to say. All right, I'm out of here. You guys all have a great night. Thanks for checking me out. See you later.